We'll call. Okay, we'll go ahead and start that over again. We'll go ahead and open up the meeting 10 a.m. We got a lot of stuff to go over here. We do have one board member that's en route. We'll be here shortly. We'll call the meeting to order for the 911 Communications District joint meeting with the Board of Directors and the Advisory Committee for Wednesday, August 12th at 2026 at 10 a.m. We're going to start with the flag salute. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call for the board. Jeff Flatt, board president out of Rainier. And we'd like to welcome our newest board member, Kim. Go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Good morning, Ken Lawrenson. I'm taking over for Shelley's appointment for Zone 4. Happy to be here.
Brian Tierney, Zone 1, Clatskanie.
Mark Pacheco, Zone 3, St. Helens.
And then I believe Tyler Miller is en route, should be here momentarily. And go ahead and do
Jeremy Ipes, Executive Director.
Mickey Nichols, CFO.
Mary Jo Beck, Office Support.
Doug Treat, Lieutenant St. Helens PD.
First Main, IT Facilities.
Nathan Hughes, Tech Manager.
And then we got Danelle is online, and then Savani is counsel as well. Danelle, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, and then Savani, can you hear us?
I can, thank you. Good morning, Savani Miller, Miller Nashford, interim outside counsel.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chief Llewellyn. And before I do that, I think there's a lot of decision makers here in the room. And I don't want to do this every month, but I think maybe we were talking quarterly or something. It might be very beneficial to try to get everybody together here on this page. So I'm excited for that. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chief Llewellyn.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the president. So on behalf of Advisory Board, I'd like to say thank you very much for allowing us to join today. Looking forward to the great conversation we'll be having too as well. For the Advisory Committee, I'm Chris Llewellyn with the Scappoose Police Department Chief of Police. I'm the Vice Chair. Our current Chair, Eric Smythe, great guy, he's currently out and be excused for this meeting. And we'll go around to introduce the rest of the Advisory Board for Columbia County. I think we already met Lieutenant Treat from St. Helens. Yeah. Go ahead, Sean.
Chief Sean Carnahan, Vernonia PD.
Jerry Bartolomechi, Columbia City.
Josh Marks, Scappoose Fire.
Bruce Halsey, Fire. No, that's being Will Steinweg, Miss Burkeville.
Tyler Miller, Zone 5, Board of Directors.
And also, Advisory Committee members online, if you can also introduce yourself too, let you know who's on watching online too as well, please. If you start with Sheriff Pixley.
Brian Pixley, Sheriff, Columbia County.
I think we have Chief Pritchard there as well, if I can see.
Good morning, Jeff Pritchard, Scappoose Fire.
I think that might be it for the right guy. Don't anyone else.
Got one more in back.
Mike, I can't forget Mike. Go ahead.
Mike Russell, Columbia County Public Works. Thank you.
Thank
Two
you.
more in back. One more for Columbia River Fire and Rescue.
Oh,
Aaron Trosberger.
that is. I think that's it. All right. Thank you very much. So with this being a hybrid, we're just going to start right to the Advisory Committee portion. And I would like to go ahead by starting off. Can we get any approvals for the minutes from last July? Any motions have been reviewed? Everybody get a chance to look at that real quick. Then I'll accept the motions to approve the minutes from July's meeting.
Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to approve those minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Do you have a second on that motion as well to approve the minutes from July?
Second.
And we have a second from Lieutenant Treat. All right. Any further discussion on the minutes? Hearing none. So the motion is going to be that we approve the minutes from July 2026 last meeting. And I would like to go ahead and all those who approve for the Advisory Committee, please say aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. The minutes have been adopted. So going into the reason why we're here today, particularly, is going to be the radio vendor decision. If you look, you should have a copy too of form that was provided about potential pros and cons. I know we had some information that was provided to the Advisory Board Committee members. roughly a couple weeks ago about the current conversation that we're having. And this is just a condensed version. You could take a look at that. It will help make some decisions up here. If I could go with Mr. Director, I know one of the key things that we were discussing last time was associated with costs and stuff like that. If we were to maintain or get on contract with Day Wireless, and anything else you want to add to that conversation?
Correct. Just to draw your guys' attention, if you haven't seen it yet, the service level and maintenance agreement that was requested by the advisory committee of Communications Northwest has been included in the board packet, the advisory committee packet for everybody's review. It's a maintenance contract. It covers all the main key things. It does explain pretty well what we're going to get for what we're paying for. Just wanted to give you guys a chance to look at that also, since that was one of the conversations brought up at the last meeting. And the reason that is important is currently we have a contract with Day Wireless for maintenance. If you were to make a recommendation and the board was to approve Communications Northwest to do the work, Day Wireless would have to go back and double check that work as part of that maintenance contract we currently have. The question was brought up about that meant that we should be changing to a new maintenance agreement. That's why the request was made for that agreement to be placed in the packet. So the document was represented. It's in there for your guys' review if you haven't read it yet. Just the one thing I want to do to point out is this also came up at the last meeting about a 30-day out or the clause to get out of a contract. Day Wireless does provide in their contract a 30-day out clause with no impact, but just has to be in writing. So no financial impact, sorry. So that being said, those are the big questions that were hanging out from the last advisory committee meeting. There is a lot of documentation to review, the test results, the projects from both Day Wireless and Communications Northwest. And they have both sent representation from both companies who are here to answer any questions that you guys may have if there is still outlying questions from you guys. And I didn't ask them to present this time, but if the board would like to give them an opportunity, or the advisory committee would like to have the opportunity, they can. I really just wanted them to be here to answer your guys' questions if questions arose that you still had some gray area or needed some additional context for.
Thank you very much, Mr. Director. We're going to open up here in a second, and the decision the advisory committee will be making today is to make a recommendation to the board to rather proceed with the contract going further with, obviously, with Day Wireless for Communications Northwest for further maintenance. So just want to put that on the table what we'll be doing. And also, Chief Marks, go ahead, sir.
Who came up with this pros and cons list? Was this you, Jeremy, going through everything? Was it?
It was provided through the co-chair from Mr. Miller.
Correct. And that was a summary that was provided from the documents I think that we all saw that came through our emails a couple weeks ago, so as well.
Mr. Chair, so is this a time for interactive between the board and advisory committee members, or what's your preference?
I have no problem with this portion, with both those that you guys hop into as well if you have any additional.
Okay. I just want to address Chief Smart's question. So how that list came about was basically the documents were extracted that were posted on the website. It was put into AI, and there were 3 criteria that AI was asked to compare to get an unbiased opinion between the 2 proposals and the ongoing maintenance agreement. That is the list that AI came up with. And I did go through it and spot check it for, errors, and I did not find it.
Any other additional questions or discussions?
Mr. Chair, I do have a question. Has everybody here had a chance to fully review the proposals and documents that both Communications Northwest and Day Wireless put forth?
Do you have any additional comments about the Mr. Miller? All right, Mike, is anything else we wanted to discuss? We'll make a decision.
Well, if it's the intent of the advisory committee to make a recommendation on which vendor, I would hope that there's ample time for the advisory committee to review all of the documentation and proposals that both vendors put forward.
Thank you. And those documents were provided to members of the advisory committee as well. Mr. Russell. Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I was just going to say that at our last advisory committee meeting, that's when we received these proposals. So we've had them since then.
Correct.
We have a couple hands raised online.
Yes, you're Pixley. Go ahead, sir.
So just a couple of questions. One, I see this meeting as having two pieces. Am I wrong? So the first recommendation would be if we should proceed with Communications Northwest or Day Wireless. Would the
Correct.
second question be whether we make a recommendation to terminate a contract as well, or no?
For the purpose of the board, for the advisory committee, for us, it's going to be the recommendation to the board, which they should go through. And I think for them, we probably need to make a decision to contract termination from there. Mr. Director, correct me if I'm wrong.
Being that it's contract language, it would be the board's decision on the contract. I don't see that the advisory committee can't make a recommendation on signing that maintenance contract. You've been provided the information, and really, ultimately, it is the board of directors that does have the ultimate say, but you can recommend anything should you decide to do that.
Okay, Mr. Miller, sir.
Yeah, so I realize everybody's busy, especially right now with the fire districts, the fire season. So that, Josh, to your point too, that was the reason why the summary document was created. At first, when it was put into AI, it came up with like 12 pages, like, sitting here like nobody's gonna have time to read 12 pages. So I asked them to condense the main points, and that's what it did. But yeah, I understand everybody, just to clarify, I understand everybody's busy, but this is a critically important decision, as all of you know. So I just want to make sure that everybody here is making informed decisions and recommendations to the board.
We have one more hand online.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Chief Pritchard, yes, sir.
Yes, good morning, everyone, from the Little Giant Fire in Washington State. Question about our role as an advisory committee. When we look at our rules that we're supposed to be following, we're not supposed to be making recommendations on vendor selection. So I just want to ask everyone in the room and ask the 911 board, is this really appropriate for us to be choosing a vendor? Our rules don't talk about vendor selection, about procurement contracts or anything else. That's supposed to be the board, and that's supposed to be the staff. When it comes to recommending, does the work need to get done? Yes, we need to make sure that the board listens to us, or hopefully listens to us when we say, hey, we think this is really important and these repairs need to be made. But I'm questioning why we're selecting a vendor. I don't believe in our subcommittee rules or our committee rules, the advisory board committee rules, that we have the authority, or we should be stepping into something that is not under our purview.
Thank you very much, Chief. My argument to that would be is that part of the function of the advisory committee is make decisions based on financial impacts and budgeting for the district too as well. And I would argue that with this being such a limited amount of funds to actually do equipment improvements, that this would be something that we could possibly discuss here at the advisory committee would be my argument for that. Because the vendor selection, I think is going to be a huge impact to the district and its budget. So going under the finance preview of the advisory committee, I think that's why they would come to us to help make a decision with that.
Well, Mr. Chair, just to make sure I understand what you were saying correctly, we talk about the funds. The funds between the two vendors are about the same. So I'm not sure I'm following you about, financial impact. I would say the impact for us as users is the system working or not necessarily, getting down to the nitty gritty. When we review the budget every year, we're not approving the budget as an authority. We're just looking at the budget and saying, yeah, that makes sense. So I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree. We need to play a role in this.
Yes.
But I think it's very specific what our role is, and our role is not to approve contracts.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Chief. Mr. Miller.
I just want to propose a way forward, given Chief Pritchard's concerns here. Would it work better for the advisory committee members? I think this is more of an individual preference for advisory committee member. as well, because I'm not able to recall any specific rules in the advisory committee that specifically says that you guys can't make a recommendation in the context that Chief Pritchard brings up. However, I think a way around this would be for the advisory committee members to express their concerns, what they've not been happy with, or what they've experienced, and what they would like to see going forward.
Mr. Chair, can I have a minute to speak?
Yes, go ahead, Chief. Sorry, I'm sure. Go ahead.
So after I spoke with Chief Pritchard about this yesterday, so this morning I pulled up the rules and regulation for the Columbia 901 Communication District Advisory Committee. Number 14 says it is expressly herein understood that the function of this committee is research, recommendation, and explicitly to offer advice to the district board. So I think this making a recommendation does fall under our purview. We're not approving a contract. We're just simply saying, from our perspective, we believe this might be the better way to go. That's, for me, that's offering advice.
Thank you very much, Sheriff. With that being said, is there any additional questions or discussion? Yes, sir.
I do have a question. Director Hype, so do you agree with this document that is produced on the pros and cons?
I don't have anything that jumps off this page that I would disagree with. Now, the pros and cons, I think it depends on your viewpoint of the individual needs versus, yes, there's facts to support both sides of those pros and cons. But I received it this morning and was able to glance over it. I do not inherently see anything that jumps off the page as unfactual or misrepresenting. I'll put it that way. Thank you. Yes.
Can I ask a question? So I don't know where the monthly long-term maintenance cost came from. I didn't think that that was something that we've already gotten from Communications Northwest.
That was the maintenance contract that we received.
We did get it. Was it in the packet then?
It should be in the packet.
I can't confirm these numbers.
It should be in the packet.
Okay. I just haven't seen them, so I wanted to make that
Yeah.
clear that I can't confirm those numbers. So, because I haven't seen them.
Yeah, Chief Marks, sir.
So I agree with some of what Mr. Miller's saying, right? This is a very important meeting, and this is a very important topic that we have been discussing for more than 4 years. Radio work has not been completed. It has been stalled out numerous times because of other reasons. If it's such an important document and everything else, why are we just receiving it today, right? Why wasn't this passed out? Why wasn't this emailed out with other letters and other items that Mr. Miller has sent out to the entire advisory committee? That's my bigger question, because then we could go through this and ground truth it. I can tell you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the document was a condensed version of the packets that were sent out by Mr. Miller
Right.
weeks ago.
But this was?
Not that particular, but the larger pages and documents.
This is the one that I'm talking about, this pros and cons list. I can go to an AI, one AI, and I can say, this is what I'm looking for. I can go to another AI program and say, this is what I'm looking for. And they're not always going to come out corrected the same way. Right? So if this is produced by AI, right? I know he said that he went over and looked through it and ground truth some of it, but without us being able to go through and ground truth these items, kind of makes me a little weary.
But there's other documents besides this that argue that the advisory committee has. I think also too as well. A lot of you have been employed here in Columbia County that I have a lot longer too. That I think, in my personal opinion, I think that this is the best time for us to move forward. We have the board of directors here, and also the committee where this has been going on for quite some time. That we should at least be able to provide some type of, because we only have maybe roughly a year, approximately, director. So I really do want to caution the committee that if we continue to push this down the road, we are delaying significantly, potentially providing a resolution to get some maintenance done.
And I'm not saying we delay it, push it down the road even farther. Okay. He asked the question if everybody's been able to review the documents. I read through both documents cover to cover. Do I know exactly what everything means? No. But I have been trying to do my due diligence and research what I don't understand. Again, we've been working on this radio project for more than 4 years. Something needs to happen. Something needs to change. And the radio work needs to be completed as soon as possible.
Chief Marks, thank you. With that being said, we also do have the vendors here, I believe, from both. Are there any questions before I possibly entertain a motion to move forward with anything? Or any other additional concern? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, I was just looking through the Communications Northwest Service Level and Maintenance Agreement. And I don't know why I didn't catch this earlier, but under statement of work, it refers to a list of covered equipment in addendum A. My handout does not have addendum A, and I'm wondering, is it my handout or is addendum A omitted from the presentation of this contract?
It's purposely omitted because it gives.
There is potential, the information about the equipment is available. If you'd like to see it as a board member, it's just not necessarily something we always make public.
Okay.
Just because of security concerns, equipment concerns.
My bottom line concern is to make sure that if we were to consider this moving forward, that Appendix A includes all of the equipment that it needs to include, that we're all expecting it would.
When they did their work, when they did their maintenance work, they took a list of all that equipment while they were at all the sites and created a robust list.
Okay.
And it is available, both provided by Day and by Communications Northwest.
Okay, thank you.
If you'd like to see them independently, we're more than happy.
Thanks for your observation, sir. Thank you, Mr. Director, too. Love for clarification. For any entertainment motions, are there any other additional questions? Yes, Nate. Did you have something?
Bixley?
I was just going to ask if it was time to enter, if the chair would entertain a motion, so.
Any more discussion? Once again, we have the vendors here before we provide a motion to make a recommendation to the boards. There's none. Okay. Well, then I will entertain a motion either to make a recommendation to proceed with an agreement with Communication Northwest or Bay Wireless. And Sheriff Pix, I believe you've had a motion you'd like to present, sir.
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we recommend to the board to contract or to contract this work with Communications Northwest.
All right, Sheriff Pix, initiates a motion to make a recommendation to the board to enter a maintenance agreement with Communication Northwest. Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
We have a second from Jim Treat on that motion. Do we have any additional discussion? Hearing none, for any additional discussion then, all those who are in favor of that motion to provide a recommendation to the board to enter an agreement with Communication Northwest, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any nays to this?
Nay.
Okay.
Nay.
Can we make sure to ask specifically who said nay so we can
Yes.
make sure the roll call's done?
If we can,
documents?
yes, if we can once again for the nays, please.
Nay. Can we please state agency name and name for the record?
Agency name and
Are you doing the ayes too? Which one are you doing?
we got to make sure we have enough.
Which one you want first?
Let's go ahead with the nays, then we'll go with the ayes as well.
Joe Kaczynski, Miss Birkenfeld, nay.
Bruce Halsey, Clatskanie Fire, nay.
Aaron Schrotzberger, Columbia River Fire and Rescue, nay.
And then what's another one? Chief Richard, sir.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, our reply is nay. And the explanation is we support the repairs 100%. 100%. We want to see the repairs happen immediately. Scappoose Fire, under the direction of our board, we do not believe it is our place to pick vendors. That's why we're saying nay. So we support the repairs on the system. We need those to happen. We want them to happen. We just don't believe our position is to be picking vendors.
Mr. Chair, clarification, is it a nay or an abstain?
That's what I was about to ask. So going with that, I was about to ask that, because of that conflict that you believe, do you want to abstain? Do you want to put that as a nay? Then Chief, then that goes back to everybody else too as well. And Chief Pritchard, you still there, sir?
Yes, sir. I thought I was very clear in the position of the district. Would you like me to restate it for the record?
No, you're good. I just want to make sure it wasn't abstain versus a nay for the proposal. And for those that say yay, you have myself for Northwest, well, Chris Long from Scapa Police Department,
Doug Treat, St. Helens PD.
Brian Pixley, Columbia County Sheriff's Office.
John Carnahan for Nunnally PD.
Jerry Bartolomeucci, Columbia City.
do we have anybody else? Mark, Mike,
Mike Russell, Columbia County Public.
was that a yay? Was that a yay, sir?
Yay, yeah.
Is there anybody that I miss for this vote? And is there any station for this vote at all? Make sure it's all on the record. Right, there are none. Looking at this, looks like, and Chief Marks, were you a nay as well, sir? I just want to make sure.
Scappoose Fire District only gets one.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like the yeas have it for the Communication Northwest recommendation to the board.
Okay. What were the numbers on it, just so we have it clearly documented?
All right, what's going to have myself, Lieutenant Treat for the yeas, Sheriff Pixley, Mr. Carnahan, Gerald, and also Mike, total of 6. And then I have Mr. Krasinski for the noes. I'm sorry, Joe. I apologize for your name. Bruce
Halsey.
Bruce Halsey, and it was it Green in the back? Okay, it was Chief Pritchard, 4. All right, so that's what I have. Yeas are 6 and the nays are 4. Thank you. With that being said, that a motion does pass that we make a recommendation to rise to the Board of Directors for Cumberland 911 District to proceed with a maintenance agreement with Communications Northwest.
Correction with the, you're making a recommendation for the radio work, not the maintenance.
Correct.
Yes,
Thank you.
just wanted to make sure. It was.
Thank you very much, Mr. Director. Right. Thank you very much, everybody who voted and everything like that, and just for coming together to try to get this going forward here. I think this was a time to do it, especially with the time sensitivity as well. And with the board meeting. Yes, sir.
Sure, I got a quick question. So you have 6 yay and 4 against.
Yes.
How many agencies did not vote?
Let me see, because we do have a quorum here. I checked.
I know, I'm just curious.
St. Helens is already here. We'll go through it real quick. Class 9.
Yeah.
We have that. Let me see, I'm just going through all the difference.
I think Mary Jo may have something.
That's what I'm saying.
Might just be.
We're not the fire. My PD voted.
Correct, for any fire. So Oregon State Police, Vernier Police Department, Vernonia. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
He's, what do they call that? It's not actual vote.
He doesn't have
Ad
a
hoc.
vote. He's ad hoc. Yeah.
There's several that are.
I'm sorry. So this one is ad hoc and, and they're not here. So this would actually be.
Okay, 5 to 4 then.
How many voting members were not present to vote?
So we have Columbia County Emergency Management is 1. That's 1. Oregon Department of Forestry. Oregon State Police I haven't seen in a while. Metro West and Vernonia Fire.
So there were 5 other agencies that did not get cast a vote.
True. But I also would say that they were advised of this meeting. They were advised of the importance of this meeting. And then I think it would be
I agree.
priority to be here to make such an important decision to move forward to assist, provide a recommendation to the board.
I agree.
So
Mr. Chair, just a point of clarification. MJ, can you tell us who of those that he just listed are ad hoc that wouldn't have gotten this regardless?
The only one who is present, who is ad hoc is Public Works, Westport Fire, and Columbia Emergency Management as well are ad hoc,
So
but they aren't here, so.
they would never.
So those three would not count. They can give their opinion, but their vote doesn't count.
Yes, sir.
So who were the yays again?
The yeas once again were myself from the Scappoose Police Department, Lieutenant Treat from the St. Helens Police Department, Sheriff Plixie for Columbia Sheriff's Office, Chief Carnahan from the Vernonia Police Department, and Chief Bartolucci for the Columbia City Police Department, and Mr. Mike Russell from Columbia County Public Works, which is an ad hoc member.
Yeah, that was my question. So that vote is not,
I'm sorry, the only person that was ad hoc vote who would not count for that would be Mr. Russell, who brings it down to 5.
okay, that's fine. So that, okay, thanks, sir.
No problem. Thank you for the point of clarification. So with our committee.
So clarification, it's, so without Mike Russell, then it's still 5 yay, 4 nay, is that correct?
Correct. Okay. If there's anything I missed, please let me know. Thank you. All right. Like I said, we'll provide a motion and we can provide a written documentation later to provide to the board to what has been approved. That's all. Thank you. With that, that is, I believe, looking at the agenda, I think that's the only thing we also have. Unless there's any additional discussion, we'll go into the board directors meeting. And also, thank you very much for providing the bylaws too as well. See the full documentation. So it's not all here, but thank you. Let's take going through that and help clarification about our committee. So is there any other additional roundtable from the advisory board committee members that you'd like to discuss? All right. Well, thank you once again, gentlemen and ladies, for being here. I gratefully appreciate it. So, Mr. President, I'll hand it to you, sir.
Okay, we'll go ahead and roll into the regular board meeting.
Do you want to give them an opportunity to close so that anybody who doesn't want to stay for the rest of the
Yeah.
meeting has a chance to step out? It's totally up to you.
Yeah, yeah, if anybody wants to exit now, you're more than welcome to stay. We're gonna keep things moving, so
So we can just say that advisory adjourned at 10.
yeah.
Yes, let's go ahead and do that. So thank you.
Yep, and then we'll go ahead and roll right into the regular meeting. We're gonna roll into public comment. Is there any member of the public that would like to discuss anything? Anybody online or anybody in person? Okay, hearing none. We're gonna go ahead and go into board member appointment oath of office. I'll turn it over to Jeremy.
Shuffling paperwork over here. All right, so Ken, I guess this is our opportunity to do your swearing in. Let me find the right document here. All right. Ken, if you would stand with me. Here, the camera will still be able to see us. All right, so just repeat after me. I, Kenneth Lawrenson,
I, Kenneth Lawrenson,
being first duly sworn, depose and say
depose and say
that I solemnly swear
that I solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and will faithfully and honorably demean myself in the office of Director
demean myself in the office of Director
of Columbia 911 Communications District,
of Columbia 911 Communications District,
to which I have been appointed
to which I have been appointed
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Cam. Okay, we'll keep moving. Additions to the agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll go into
Chair.
Yes.
So this may actually fit underneath the topics on the current agenda. However, just to put it out there, I would like to talk about staff reports. And basically, that is when staff adds a topic to the agenda that requires context or background, that we receive a staff report on top of the documentation. For example, we often see quotes and estimates and just random information thrown into the packet without much context, following it in line with the way that the other governing bodies do it throughout the county, to include the county commissioners and the city councils throughout the county. I would like to have a discussion about ensuring that there are staff reports with context on what the request is going forward in the board packet.
Okay, yeah. I think I think that's a good point, Tyler. And I think we've got another meeting here in a couple weeks, so our regular August meeting. So I think I would like to add that to our regular August 27th, 2026 meeting.
And I have another topic that it probably fits under the topics that are already on there, but just for a matter of clarification, I would also like to discuss a review of past billings from the previous radio service vendor, because we did use significant public funds to pay those invoices, that a review is completed, and we confirm that we received the services that we have been paying for a while.
Okay, has anybody got anything else in additions to the agenda? Okay, we're going to go ahead and move into the annual board member elections. We'll open up the nominations for president. Nominations for president.
Nominate Jeff Flatt for president.
Okay, Brian's got the nomination.
I nominate Mark.
Tyler's got Mark, so we got two. We need a second for either Mark or myself.
I'll second for Jeff.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Okay, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor, for myself as president, aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion carries. We're gonna go into vice president, motion and a second for vice president. I'd like to nominate Mark for vice president.
Second for Mark.
Okay, motion and a second. Any other motion for vice president or any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor for Mark, vice president. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, secretary. Nomination for secretary. Who's the current? Was it you, Tyler, or was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm going to bring this up again that I brought up months ago, just real quickly, is that the functions and duties described for each of these positions in our board policy, we don't do that. So I brought it up before that it's more appropriate for us to have a chair and a vice chair, and that's it, because none of the other positions do anything. It's not reflective of the current situation. So I still don't know why we're continuing to do this.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. So what I want to hear from the rest of the board on that. Do we need a secretary position? It's duly noted, and I agree with
So the position of secretary, just for some context, has been upheld by Mary Jo as the staff of the district for several years. It's a position that's always been on there. I agree with Tyler that it is not one that the board currently fulfills. And by our current board policies, as we have the ability to fulfill that. The language, we had talked about it, and Tyler has brought it up a couple of times. That we were, the board practice system review was going to be part of that to make recommendations to change that language. You, as the board, have the ability to make that determination now. If you'd like to have that removed, we can certainly update that and bring that to the next meeting for your final approval for that board policy. Just wanted to provide you the context, since I know Ken hasn't been newly to the board for the historical context. But
Yeah, I personally, I don't think we need secretary. We need a secretary, but I think Mary Jo's fulfilling that, so I don't think we need to appoint someone from the board as secretary.
And then the other one is treasurer, and our CFO and executive director fulfill, I think, all the functions that a treasurer normally would. We need a president to obviously to preside over meetings, and then a chair, and then a vice chair in case there is an absence of the chair. But do we need to close that motion and then, or the current one on the table, and then?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and close the nomination for secretary and open it up for more discussion on, is everybody in agreement on not having the secretary and the treasurer position? Is that?
And renaming the president and vice president to chair and co-chair, or vice chair, or whatever the preference is.
Yeah. So I guess we'll accept a motion to do that.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that the board, lack of a better word, does away with president and vice president, treasurer, and secretary, and the current roles and duties of president and vice president are assumed by the new roles of chair and vice chair, with staff fulfilling the duties of treasurer and secretary going forward.
And do we have a second?
I'll second it to continue the conversation.
Okay. The motion in a second. Let's have some more discussion on that.
So my only concern would be that I did have to come in and, as treasurer, sign some checks. So those functions need to be rolled into either the chair or the vice chair responsibilities. So as long as that is taken care of, I'm on board.
Yep, I agree. Everybody on the same page. Anybody got any further discussion on that?
I don't know if you, with our interim general counsel.
Yeah, Savani, are you on board with all that? You got any comments?
Not at this point. I will confirm that there's no rule or statute that requires certain positions, but I'm not aware of any at this time.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call that for the vote. I'm not going to repeat the motion, but Tyler's got the motion to make those changes. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. So we'll keep things moving. Appointments to board standing committees. Current committees are awards and recognition committee, personnel committee, user services committee, and facilities committee. So do we have a recommendation to, or a motion to appoint for the awards and recommendation committee?
It was deemed unnecessary the last fiscal year.
There, yeah.
I don't know that we need fiscally this year. We're going to have an opportunity for that again.
Okay. So is everybody on board with
Keeping,
with that? Yes.
just to be clear, your suggestion is that we keep the current assignments as was?
Yes.
Okay.
So right now, we've got, Shelley was on the personnel committee, so that would default to Ken.
Yeah,
That's we got Brian with Mark, that's the personnel. User services committee was Brian, myself, and Tyler's an alternate. Facilities was myself and Tyler's alternate. So we'll just move forward with that. If everybody is in agreement.
Jeff, I'm sorry.
We need a
Point of
motion.
order. Normally with the committees, just so there is a continuity of, for instance, not sure exactly what I'm trying to say, but because Shelley and Brian were the personnel committee, and Mark was the alternate. Normally, we keep whoever is staying, just so there's continuity. So it would be Brian and Mark now are the personnel committee, and then Ken would be the alternate. It just kind of keeps the continuity of somebody who's already been a part of that. Again, that's completely up to the board's discretion.
Yeah. So, everybody in agreement with that? Anybody got any other comments, questions, concerns?
Can you please just state who's going to be on what, just for clarity for the record?
So I think personnel committee would be Brian and Mark with Ken as the alternate. User services would be Brian, myself with Tyler, alternate. Facilities would be myself and with Tyler as the alternate.
And Ken, or Tyler
Okay.
moved to with you to the committee. and
That's
Ken
right.
to The alternate.
Yeah, there you go. So Tyler, myself and Tyler with Ken. Thank you. Everybody good with that?
I'll update this form so everybody has it.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the official appointments as presented to?
Make a motion to approve the appointments for the committees for the board.
Motion, we go second. Second. Motion second, all in favor. It's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion on it? I think we've already discussed it. All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed. Motion passes. Advisory committee appointment.
Right now, because it's not something I post, and it's not information on it, the public.
Okay. Is there a motion to appoint the advisory committee as presented? Mary Jo just handed out on that, so. Motion and second. Discussion on that.
You have a motion and a second, correct?
We do not. We're waiting for a motion and a second for the advisory committee. So so we need an appointment. We need a motion to accept, move forward and vote on this advisory committee. So moved, Mr. Chair. Okay, Ken's got the motion to approve advisory committee as presented. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mark's got the second. Any further discussion? Advisory committee appointment. Okay, we'll call for the vote. Moved and seconded, and had no discussion on it. All in favor? This as presented, advisory committee, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
And Mr. Chair, I'll be abstaining from that vote.
Okay. Motion approved. So adoption of the fiscal year 2026 board meeting schedule. We need a motion and a second for that. I gotta find it here. I remember looking at it. Yes.
Mary Jo made some adjustments to the schedule just because the fourth Thursday of November falls on Thanksgiving and the fourth Thursday of December falls on Christmas Eve. So just take special note to both those ones are different dates than what would be normal.
Yeah. And we can always shift those a little bit, as needed. But we'll accept a motion.
With the Mary Jo?
As well as the quarterly. I did change that for the joint quarterly meeting with advisory. If the board wants to continue to have the quarterly meeting
Yeah, I support that. I think getting decision makers all together in the same room is a great idea. So do we have a motion to accept this schedule?
I'll make a motion to accept the schedule for the 26-27 board meeting schedule as presented with caveat to adjust as needed, should anything need to be adjusted.
Okay, Brian's got that. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion on that?
I do have a question. Why do we pass a motion on? Because we cancel meetings all the time. So I don't know what the point is of.
I think when things come up, it's a great idea to have this schedule, but yeah, I know personally I had a family member with some health issues and I apologize for that. But I think when those things come up, this is obviously important as well as family. So we will make adjustments as needed, as Brian mentioned in the motion. So any further discussion on that?
I just want to support the combination of the advisory committee quarterly. I think that's a lot of value. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call for the vote on the schedule. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. We'll go into approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the June 29, 2026 regular meeting minutes as presented? Yeah.
We skipped the official appointments for legal services, auditor, and insurance agent of record.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do these minutes and then we'll back up to that. Accept a motion for the minutes as presented.
All motion.
Okay, Mark's got the motion.
I'll second.
Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Point me in the right direction here again. What did we skip over? Was
The
it?
official appointments.
Yeah. Okay, official appointments, for legal.
Can I comment on the
Yeah.
general counsel thing real quick? To Tyler's credit, he did go out and find local government law group. I received an email this week saying that their attorney that they had slated to be here to be as a potential general counsel has decided to, well, I guess she said somebody left of the firm, which took away their ability to be present at the meeting, and we're revoking their proposal to provide services. So we had slated each organization 10 minutes to present, but we have one left at this time, which is Miller Nash. Just for the sake of having it on record, why we all have one.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go ahead and accept a motion for general counsel.
I do have comments, but if I can wait for a second.
Motion. Mark's got the motion. Second.
I'll second.
Brian, got the second, and then we'll go to Tyler for comment on that.
So I am concerned because it's been raised in the past by even other board members that we are not doing an RFP for legal services, yet we slate over 250,000, which is threshold under ORS chapter 279 for procurement. So why are we not quickly advertising for legal counsel and doing an official RFP process?
Your man, I'm going to default to you for that.
Well, Miller Nash has currently been providing historical representation. If the board would like, we can go up our RFP process and try to find more. Tyler had reached out to a couple of firms. I've reached out to several different firms that haven't been able to represent us for one reason or another. We certainly, if the board would like, we can go out for an official RFP process.
Well, it's not, it's more of a question of if we're required to, and if we should, because it's public funds. Not if the board likes to or not. So that's my concern. I mean, City of St. Helens, City of Scappoose have both been RFPs, so the template's already there that we could, potentially get from them. But I'm just concerned that we're also accepting an hourly rate of 495, and I think I don't remember what Miller Nation's rate is, but it's up there too. That's where the city and other cities are paying in the 300 range. So I wouldn't have as great of concern, I think, if we were down in the 300 range, but we're exceeding 400 an hour. I think that warrants a official process that's compliant with 279.
Savani, as the current interim RFP process.
She kind of has a conflict.
Well, I know, I'm just asking about
From a legal standpoint, yeah, where are we at?
I mean, so what we would typically recommend, so because it's for professional services, the threshold is different. You can engage in direct appointments and direct negotiations, and so that's typically more efficient. What you all have been doing already is trying to see what other firms you would be interested in and negotiate directly with them, have them come in and present proposals on an individual basis if there are other firms that you're interested in interviewing. As Mr. Miller stated, it's awkward for me to be providing that advice, but you don't have to do an official RFP. That's one way to do it. But typically the more efficient way to do it would be to seek out other firms and try to engage them on an individual basis.
Okay, so we've heard from Tyler. I want to hear from anybody else. Board member wise, do we have any comments on legal counsel? General counsel?
I think that, to answer all questions and to put any concerns to rest, the RFP process is a relatively painless way to move that forward. It will answer the question if we get proposals in, great. If we don't, then we know where we stand. But that way there is no concern moving forward.
Yeah.
Just for edification, what's the time frame with an RFP if we were to go out?
I'm totally drawing a blank off the top of my head.
For the open advertisement period.
What we're talking about, yeah.
I think what I normally see is about 60 days. I mean, you could make it 30, 45, 60. I don't know if there's a rule.
I mean, we do have an interim council currently on, so it's not like we're going without. If we wanted to continue with the interim and go out for an RFP process, we can do that. If we give them 60 days for response, we're going to be pushed out to September, October-ish meeting, depending on how quickly what timelines we set. So we could be getting close to the beginning of the new year, but we can certainly do that. That doesn't hurt anything to go through that process.
And as you said, we are covered in the meantime.
So we are covered in the meantime.
Vulnerable anyway.
And we'll get in the first of the new year, but we do have an interim on staff until that.
Brian, you got any thoughts on any of that?
I agree with the RFP to satisfy just out there, to satisfy any concerns we have.
Okay.
We'll put it out there. I think we need to decide though, not arguing against a longer term, but I think we need to maybe decide on a set term limit for it, whether we decided it's 60 days or 30 days or whatever. I don't think we would just want to open end it and leave it out there for.
Agreed.
Well, the process would typically be that we would, draft it, they would publish it, and then you have your whatever amount of days open for responses. then there's usually a review committee or policy that's established to ensure that, all the RFPs are reviewed the same way and fairly and in compliance. So it's not just to be clear, it's not just the open period. These staff has the time to draft it, publish it, and then also the review. And then they basically, lack of a better term, rank those RFPs and then they bring it to the board.
Okay, so RFP is what I'm hearing. So
Just so that we're not reinventing the wheel too, Jeremy, my suggestion would be to reach out to Skeffers or St. Helens and draft their RFP and Word document, and you can, make whatever modifications you think are appropriate. And then I think we also have a pretty robust policy on how the RFPs are supposed to be handled once they're submitted too. So there's an opportunity there not to reinvent the wheel.
Thank you, Tyler.
all right. Did the meeting minutes, fine. I think we're down to financial reports. Is that where we're at?
To the auditor,
Auditor.
and our assurance.
Yeah,
We have a motion on the table.
Cool. And yes, we do technically.
yes. So
Thank you, Mary Jo.
do you want to amend that motion? Do we want to vote on that? What was the motion again? I'm trying to keep track.
Mark moved and Brian seconded, to have Miller Nash for, you said general counsel. I say you, I mean Jeff.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were talking about if you wanted it to cover all legal services,
Yeah,
because,
I think it was general counsel is what it.
okay, so then we have to do labor as well. We should.
In the conversation, I withdraw that motion.
Okay. Thank you.
Good with that, Brian?
Yes.
So can we clarify, because there are multiple attorneys here, so are we putting out one RFP for all legal services just to make this clean? And
We currently have two. We have general counsel and then we have labor. Just happens to be in the interim. They're both Miller Nash currently, different attorneys from Miller Nash. I do have to agree that it would be nice to have one firm to cover both, just for the simplicity of business, to be honest. So if we're going to go out for an RFP, I would have to agree that I think we should probably go out for one company to simplify everybody's work.
Everybody on board with that?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Auditor. Need a motion second for auditor. Currently, we have this Polly Rogers. That's correct.
so I have a question about the auditor. How many years are we into using, remind me, is it just the specific auditor or is the company that we have to rotate every so often?
It's the auditor within the company that has to be rotated, and they are doing that.
Okay, thank you. And has staff been happy with Polly Rogers?
I haven't had any concerns.
They've been good. We get along. Everything seems to flow pretty smoothly with them. They're very helpful when I reach out.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept Polly Rogers PC as the auditor of record.
Okay, Tyler's got the motion for Polly Rogers, second.
I'll second.
In a second, any further discussion? Any of that? All in favor for Polly Rogers, aye. Aye, opposed. Motion carries. Insurance agent of record is currently Megan Hamilton. Need a motion and a second for that.
I also have a question about that. I'm sorry. So how does insurance work for the district? Is SDIS? And then where does the local agent like Hagan Hamilton come into play?
They just manage. They're the broker. They manage the contract that we have, but and they go out and find us the best, and SDIS is.
Always the best.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, I make a motion that the board appoints insurance agent of record Hagan Hamilton.
A second?
Second.
Motion a second, all in favor, or any further discussion on any of that? If not, all in favor? For Hagan Hamilton, aye. Aye, opposed? Okay. Here's financial reports, Mickey.
Yes, we are at end of year. Our benchmark should be 0. And we ended our year at 14.3%, which I was very grateful for. So we can carry some of those funds over into our next year. I do have on the, sorry, I'm looking for my document, on the check register. There are 3 checks that I hand wrote on there that they were voided. This is, I just want someone to put eyeballs on this. Those are those same 3 checks. You could confirm that. You'll find it on the check register documents, which looks like this. It'll be on the 2nd page, before there's 3 down. I hand wrote there. Those 3 checks were missing, 70, 71, and 72.
Those are.
Confirmed, thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Mickey, on, just because I can't see the checks that you have over there, so are those for the US Bank credit card payment or the WEX bank, or is it something completely different? Looking at the check register here.
So, the 3 checks are, yes, so I had a glitch in my printer and it printed the 3 checks, WEX Bank, Chevron, US Bank credit card, and Windflower Consulting. It printed them twice. So these 3 were removed and the other 3 for the same dollar amount went out.
Okay, and just for the record, that's line 1359, 1316, 1361. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mickey? We'll have a motion for acceptance or approval of the budget variance as presented. Motion. Brian's got the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion on any of that? Hearing none, call for the vote on that. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
Okay, Tyler's. Expenditures. We have a motion and a second for expenditures as presented.
Motion.
Mark's got the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Ken's got the second. Any discussion on expenditures? Questions for Mickey? Anybody? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor, aye. Aye, opposed.
Abstain on that.
Motion carries. We're gonna go ahead and go to Danelle for operations.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
can I excuse myself? I'm suffering
you
from
please do. Yes.
poison oak, and I would like to go get into an oatmeal bath.
Yes, please do. Get well
Thank you
soon,
very
Mickey.
much.
Thank you, Mickey.
I appreciate it.
Danelle, operations manager report.
Hello. I do have some updates to my report since this was a report for July. Previously, I'd reported that we were going to have a new employee start on the 10th, and I can confirm that he did start. So that's going to change our numbers to all of our positions are currently filled that are funded for, which is 13. One of our trainees, today is her very last day of training, so she will be full on the schedule starting out her work week next week on the 16th. So congratulations to Hadley. She did an excellent job and we're very proud of her. Our new employee Gotcher started this last Monday and he's off and running. And let's see. I did want to do an update on our rolling recruitment. Since we had to freeze hiring, I do still have 2 people on the eligibility list. So potentially that 13 could have been a 15 right now, but unfortunately it is not. We kept applications coming in until we could confirm that Gotcher was able to start. So we have 6 people that we have slated to still interview and to add to that eligibility list, just so that we have candidates, hopefully, that are willing or able to wait if we have an opening coming up. I do report every month on each stage of the hiring process and at which stage we're losing applicants. The current report does have the entire fiscal year on it, step by step, with an explanation and descriptors. If anybody has any questions about our recruitment process, I'm more than willing to answer those. Also, just a little bit about our schedule. We do have some employees who have restrictions on their hours right now, but we do have a collective bargaining agreement contract for the hours that they work. Our current schedule has overlapping shifts, and just to reassure the board and the users, the purpose of that is so that somebody in the room always knows what's going on because they walk into their incidents are in progress when they take over. I do have an exciting update. I brought this up at the last advisory committee meeting. Our agency is going to be receiving another award, so we're very excited about that in the fall. It's the Oregon APCO NENA Commitment to Excellence Award. And this Commitment to Excellence, the Commitment to Excellence Award recognizes telecommunicator, a group of telecommunicators or an agency who has demonstrated commitment to the principles of excellence in 911 telecommunications through the following efforts and actions: dedication to professionalism through comprehensive knowledge and skills, creative, innovative approaches to quality improvement, such as enhancements to customer service, policy programs, quality improvement programs, techniques, and reviews, etc. Promotion of the telecommunicator code of ethics by example, leadership and mentoring of coworkers, which provides substantial contribution to the overall improvement and successful operation of the 911 center. Developing innovative and creative approaches to training concepts designed to improve quality of service. Quality of service is consistent with and without bias. So our agency's training team is going to receive that award. It is a very big deal. There's only one team that gets that award. And 2 of our staff, Broglie and Duran, are going to go in person to Bend and receive that award on behalf of their team. So we're excited for them to do that. I did attend the 2026 NENA conference recently, and that was very valuable training. I was very impressed at the professionalism. It was a great experience, especially for an agency like ours, because they brought in PSAPs or dispatch centers of the same size as ours to kind of collaborate and problem solve. I had some really good takeaways there. Our training coordinator just got back from the 2026 APCO International Conference and was very impressed by the reports that she provided. Each day that she was there, she was emailing tidbits of information and knowledge out to all of the staff. It was great. I do want to give a shout out to everybody, including the board, for the support in the radio site survey that we did recently. The users were great, communication was great, and I thought it went really smooth. We do have one more big summer event to come. That's Hood to Coast on the 28th and 29th, and I've been preparing for that. An update in our public records request number. It's changed, obviously, since last time. So as of today, it's 561. And I am open to any questions.
Good report, Danelle. Thank you very much. Anybody got any questions for Danelle?
Mr. Chair, I have a clarification. So if I heard correctly, Danelle said that the funding is for 13, but I thought that we approved 12. Looking at the budget, I thought we approved 12 dispatchers and 2 leads.
I believe it's 13 full-time equivalency positions.
Okay, I understand. I see what you're saying. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for Danelle? We'll turn it over to Nathan for the tech report.
Yeah, so some of the information in my report's a little outdated too as well. Columbia Northwest, we've got their report back and can talk about it today. BARD unit at Quarry Hill was successfully replaced. On that note, the other unit decided to fail. It's having the same issue with leaking freon. We don't have a plan right now to replace it with the funding situation. The new unit should be fine for this summer and we'll keep a close eye on it. Still moving forward, testing CAD, programming. We're getting new interfaces installed and getting those set up for the new update that we have to get installed. Audio recorder this morning, Merckx and I got the new hardware installed in the server room, so we just have to wait for them to come and set it up in Day Wireless configuration with Equature. Network, we replaced our firewall, very minimal downtime. Was one little issue with a CAD routing rule. We got that all fixed within about 10 minutes. And then OEM, still looking or still moving ahead with next gen 911 upgrade for our phone system. So going from analog to digital. Any questions?
All right. Nothing more for Nathan. Thank you.
And I
Nathan.
just wanted to do a quick commendation for the tech team, Nathan Merckx. They've been spending a lot of time trying to do cleanup, get things organized, as well as making sure the licenses that we have for Microsoft licenses are accurate, trying to make sure that we're not bleeding out any money anywhere that we're not using. They've both spent a lot of time trying to come up with ideas of where we can save money on the tech side of the house. And I just want to commend them for that work and the forward thinking of ways that we can shave things here and there to make us more lean operatable. So just wanted to make sure I recognize them both for that.
All right. Thank you. We'll turn over to Jeremy for the
Yeah. So my executive director's report, there's the normal meetings that I attended. Again, thanks to the chiefs and the fire defense board for making sure that we're always welcome at the table to have those conversations and be involved in the conversations. It's extremely important for us to be part of those conversations and be able to think ahead as a group. The management team's evaluations, we're just about done with those between vacations and people being out of the office. We've got them back. I just have it to sit down and put them all in a workable document so we can get them out. So just to confirm that we do now have the top 2 levels, admin and managers, will be completed here shortly. And then the next step will be getting the staff member evaluations for line level staff updated and rolled out as well. It's one of those things that over the years has been kind of set aside just due to lack of the ability to complete it with the staffing that we had. One person trying to do the job of the executive director, ops manager, and everything else was just something that kind of fell off, and we're trying to get back on. As we all know, continuous feedback is super important. So that being said, we've heard about the radio. We've had a lot of conversation about the radio stuff. I did attend APCO International Conference, some great training in San Antonio. I will also say Kirby attended with me, and Kirby, as our training coordinator, brought back a ton of useful training. So part of her process is after the training, she comes back with her notes and the documents she collected and creates in-house training opportunities off every class she attends. She pushes that out to staff so they can be involved and get all that information as well. And she does a phenomenal job with it. Matter of fact, every day at the end of the day, she was back in her hotel room emailing out those classes for the staff to have available to them the next day. So just watching her in her element and watching her flourish in the training role, I just appreciate her also for the dedication to bring that all that training back to the staff in the most usable format possible for the folks. And it's another way of some ongoing training that it's only costing us one person going versus a bunch of different people going to those classes and attending them. So I also had several great meetings with different radio vendors, equipment vendors, consoles, CAD, timesheets, accounting software, you name it. I tried to make sure I got to sit with as many vendors as humanly possible to try to find those little ways that maybe something we're using isn't the most effective or cost effective, but also meets our needs. So spent a lot of time having those conversations and seeing where we could potentially bring other software in to save us some time and money. That's it.
All right. Chapter 4, board policy. I think we got it in the board packet. I think I want to turn it over to Savani because you made a few changes, Savani, to that. You want to go over that for us?
Yes, that's correct. So they're primarily to Section 3, Board Conduct, and Section 4, Powers and Duties of the Board. And the changes are basically to remove provisions that were duplicative or potentially inconsistent, and clarify that the policy is not intended to prohibit an individual board member from lawful expression or speech, including lawfully expressing their opinion regarding the board's decisions, communicating with stakeholders, and advocating for a different course of action. So one of the changes in Section 4, Powers and Duties of the Board, was to clarify that individual board members have no power to speak for the board or for the district, whether to the public, employee, or contractor, unless authorized to do so by the board. And that statement now stands alone in place of the couple of sentences before it that's were more directed to how the board itself speaks. This is more directed to how an individual board member can speak, which is to say that they can only do so on behalf of the board if they've been authorized to do so by the board. Any questions on that section?
Anybody got any questions for Savani? Thank you for that, Savani. We go ahead and accept a motion to approve Chapter 4 policy as presented.
Mr. Chair, we have revisions that we need to make to this as of the current decision earlier today.
Yes.
So should we make those changes and then bring us back for the meeting later this week?
We should. Yes, thank you.
And I want to express again my comments about information that's in here that is not really relevant to the board. It seems it's not a content issue. It's more of a disorganization issue where things that aren't really aligned with board related policies are in the board policies. And also that we keep citing the law that changes rather than the ORS or an easier way. Because by the way this is currently written, it's going to make it so that every time that it makes it so that every year that there's a potential revision to the law, ORS, you also have to go in here and update it because you're putting the wording of the law in the policy. That's where it would be much more efficient to reference the law that can be looked up online to see the current version of that law.
All right. Any other comments on policy 4?
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, you are Mr. Chair now.
Yes.
With regards to section Roman numeral 7, organization of the board, and this goes to Tyler's comments, do we need a motion to have those changes redlined? Have somebody draft those for the next meeting?
Yeah, I would accept a motion for move forward with this.
Can we include a revision to clean this up in line with what I just stated? Does staff have any concerns with that?
I can work with the general counsel to make sure. I'm not an attorney, but I don't see why we couldn't just list ORS versus the actual language to clear up the document, make it a little more brief and concise.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a starting point. I think there's a lot of probably policy revisions that are similar across the district that need to be reviewed and organized, organized and just made a little more efficient. So we're not having to review these annually to make sure that they're still compliant with what the law says.
It makes good business sense to me to make that change.
Okay, we'll accept the motion.
Go ahead.
Make a motion for a revision of Chapter 4, Board Member Duties and Responsibilities to reflect ORS language, as well as cleaning up section Roman numeral 7, organization of the board officers, in line with action already taken this morning.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion on any of that?
Mr. Chair, I have one quick typo. I don't know why this bothers me so, but on page 4-8, under smoking, which is under being an effective board member, there's training requirements, and I'm wondering if that should be bolded with a period after it, and then the Oregon Government Ethics Commission sentence continues after that.
That makes sense to me to clean up the document.
Yep, very good.
Okay.
Okay, motion and a second and some discussion. We'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Authorization for engagement for investigator. Motion to approve authorization for engagement for investigator for either Gibson Law or Michael Prom as presented. I think you've got stuff in your board packet regarding that. Anybody got a motion for either Michael Prom or Gibson Law? We need more time to review all of that. You know, we are meeting here in a couple weeks, so I'd like to move forward with it right now, but I don't know, we could add this to the agenda for the next meeting, or we could accept a motion now. Okay, well, hearing no motion, I think
Everybody's still reading.
okay, we'll give you guys another another minute or two here to review those documents. Accept the motion.
little insight, just that.
Yes, go ahead, Mary
at
Jo.
the previous meeting, the board had selected Michael Tom. But Tom came back with some changes to the contract, so that's why board is being asked to consider again.
What are those changes offhand? Do you remember? What?
What that was shared with you.
Mary Jo, do you want me to
Yes.
a little?
Oh, yeah, if you.
I believe it's an indemnification clause, and maybe Suvani can add context to that. I'm not sure.
Just a quick observation here. One is 475 per hour and the other is 50. Yeah, 450.
Suvani, you have any comments on that?
So, so typically, so if that, I'm not sure, I don't believe that that provision exists in the other proposal. That's something that's somewhat unusual given attorneys' independent professional insurance obligations to further indemnify the investigator for the work that they are doing under their professional license.
Okay.
I thought that it was in both of the contracts, but I may have missed that.
Let's see.
Mary Jo is correct about the Tom's one.
Does anybody know if the insurance carrier for the district allows indemnification? Because a lot of places will not indemnify because it creates a debt and government agencies can't obligate themselves to an unfunded debt. I don't know if that's.
Well, indemnification is listed in both proposals.
You guys want a few more minutes to review this, or do we want to table it for the next, or we'll accept a motion now? Those are kind of our options.
Nobody knows the answer to the indemnification question, so that's an issue.
So I believe the concern was potentially that the indemnification is broader for Mr. Tom than it would be for the other investigator that specifically mentions professional malpractice insurance, but then requests indemnification for additional for things that may not be covered by malpractice insurance, such as employment discrimination, harassment, claims that would really be more directed at the district.
That answer. Anybody got any other questions for Suvani?
So there's a specific exclusion in the Gibson letter for claims against the investigator or my firm to the extent they are covered by my own professional malpractice or other business insurance, or claims made by the district against them in the event that those were to arise. So I think that's the difference between the indemnification provisions.
So he's indemnifying his insurance carrier, did I hear you correctly? So that he's saying that if there was a claim made against him, that his insurance carrier is not going to be obligated to cover it, but the district's is going to be obligated to cover it?
Oh, no. So for claims against him, the district would not be indemnifying him for claims against him to the extent they would be covered by his own professional malpractice or other business insurance. So where he has insurance, the district is not agreeing to indemnify, but there is this other category of claims that's specifically described in that indemnity provision that that may not be covered by his malpractice insurance, and that's what he's requesting. And the other indemnification is Mr. Tom's is broader.
You guys want some more time to review this and get more information, table it to the next meeting, or do we want to accept a motion to move forward on this now? Mark, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that there's a very small variance in what the hourly rate is, and given that the indemnification clause is so much broader, I'd be leaning towards Gibson.
Okay. Any other comments from anyone? Okay. And I think I would agree as well, a little higher fee, but yeah.
So I'll make the motion that we accept the Gibson proposal.
Okay, we've got a motion for Gibson. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second for Aaron Gibson. Any further discussion?
I'm concerned that, Ken, did you make the second?
I did.
I'm concerned that he's being pulled into something that he has no context about and that could open up some problems for him. In all fairness, he needs to know what he's getting himself into.
Yeah, are you comfortable, Ken, or do you need, are you?
Can you, Jeff, Mr. Miller, if you could expand on.
I wish I could, but I can't.
Okay, you can.
Sorry, I just want to be fair to you that you're making a motion for an investigation that already has litigation tied to it, and you have no context about what you're stepping into. I'm assuming you have no context. Sorry, I shouldn't assume.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, if
Yeah.
it's permissible,
Yeah.
I'll withdraw my second.
Okay. So we're still looking for a second. Motion then, we have the motion.
I'll second.
Second, Brian's got the second, so we'll go ahead and any further discussion on any of that? Okay, we'll go ahead and accept the motion in the second. All in favor, hiring Gibson for the investigation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
And I'm abstaining.
Okay, motion,
I'm gonna abstain as well.
okay. Motion carries. Oh, where are we at?
We are, the compensation survey and project retains, we've deferred those just because we need to have some further conversation and analysis on both of those. We have not had a chance to get that started yet, but I wanted to leave it on old business so we don't forget about it.
Okay.
And then with the contract dispatchers, the Rescue 911, I provided some information in there. But having seen the document Mr. Tyler presented this morning for scope of work that you and I discussed about pushing off the next meeting, I would like to use that document to try making this proposal on that document for the next meeting.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Or I'm sorry, I'm probably not scope of work. I can't remember what the actual
Request for action or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So he sent that document over. What I would like to do is provide this on that document to see if you guys like that format better, since we're going to discuss the document anyway. And then also give you a little more time. I'll just give you a little context. So this is a company that it offers contract dispatchers to come in and help fill hours. This is a temporary arrangement made with the company. It's would basically the dollars that you're seeing listed there as total contract cost, the total savings first month and second 6 months is based off of our staff's overtime costs versus paying them an hourly rate to fill those roles. Just kind of give you guys an opportunity to review the data before I re-present it at the next meeting with that form that was provided to me. I would like to. Basically, I'm looking at trying to find 2 contract employees that we could have at 6-month durations. So we could have them for one 6-month chunk. We could extend them out to a year and up to a maximum of 18 months. before the state of Oregon will require us to put them through the state academy. These are at-will employees. They come in, they provide the services. They're expected to fill in into your organization, adapt to your organization. If there's any concerns about their work ethic, attitudes, or anything you call them, they yank the person out and they provide you another one. They go out and find all the certifications we need. They provide some of the background services and the psych services for us. So this is what you're seeing here is basically an out-of-box price and the contract that's associated. So if the board would allow me to defer this to the next meeting, I will use that new form that was provided to see if that is something that you guys would like me to further use moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
You have some more questions about this. So, my understanding is there's a few different contract companies that do this.
There's at least two that I know of for sure.
Okay, is there a reason? What made you select this one?
So the other company has had 3 violated contracts with dispatch centers in the state of Oregon that are currently wrapped up in litigation with other organizations. So I shied away from not trying to enter us into another company that potentially could have that same issue with us. This is one I reached out with that I met as a vendor at a conference and had a meeting with them. I had a really good feel, and I've also reached out to Hood River County, who has 2 of their people on staff, and they're getting ready to extend out to their 18-month mark. Grants Pass has one. They're at a year mark, and they love their person and the company. And then there was, I'm drawing a blank on who the third company is, but there's a third dispatch center in the state that also uses them, and all 3 of them gave resounding positive feedback on this company and the people they're getting.
So, I mean, obviously, it's an investment in time and training just with CAD and all the systems that have to be trained on. So is it your intent, if they're a good fit, to try to extend them as much as possible?
I would like to, well, depending on what the union's response is. I've approached the labor union. They're discussing amongst themselves if it's something they would even be willing to support. And I have not heard back from them yet, which is another reason why I wanted to extend it out. But the other side of this is it will take some workload off of them, provide us some extra coverage while saving some, save us some money on top of it. I don't want to see this to be a permanent solution for our staffing issues. We need to fix it otherwise. I'm seeing this as a temporary stopgap to save us some money on our overtime costs while providing extra coverage for our staff and our users. I would like to say 6 month. I would probably be more comfortable with the 1 year mark, to be honest with you, but we'll see how that first 6 months goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I applaud you for bringing forward a solution. I mean, this seems to be a route that a lot of centers are.
There is some apprehension because of the other company's concerns with some organizations in the state. But this company, like I said, I've done some background. I've reached out to other organizations inside and a couple outside the state that have had no concerns with these folks. And they operated basically just like a travel nursing program. They provide the housing. You pay them one lump sum. They pay their wages. They pay their housing stipends, all that stuff. So, and depending on what the MOU would be with the union, should they decide they want to support this idea, being because it will affect their overtime and the money they're allowed to make, depending on what they support. I would like to see us potentially go for a full year just to buy us some time, but we'll see what that looks like in the end.
So let's talk a little bit, to the extent you can, more about the union. Is there an obligation in the current, why did I just forget the name? The CBA that requires them to grant permission, or are you just doing this as a courtesy?
I'm trying to do this as a courtesy. I don't want a bunch of people to quit and walk out on us because they're losing the access to the money. I would really like their support. I don't necessarily have to have their support.
Okay,
but
that brings up an issue though. So which is it? Are people burnt out and you can't cover shifts, or do they want their time off?
Right. And that's why I'm waiting to hear back from them. I want to know what their feelings are. Generally speaking, individuals that I've talked to or have had questions about this have been super supportive of it, of saving them some of that overtime and giving them some regular time off. And to be honest with you, provides the whole staff some time off. So I'm just, the only reason I haven't got a response yet is the president has been out on leave, and I'm just kind of waiting to hear back from the president when they get back. So that being said, I do think, generally speaking, my conversations, they are supportive of it, at least of the 6 month trial period to see what it works like. And the fact that they come in with knowledge of Vestar phone system. They come in with knowledge of our CAD system. There is a training aspect, of course, because they have to learn the way we do things, but they're coming in with all those certifications they need right off the bat. So it's not there is a short, they're saying on average, their dispatchers are ready to go within 4 to 6 weeks of training they're able to operate. If that's the case, that's much quicker than a training program, and it provides us a little bit of relief for a short period of time and save us a little overtime cost until I just want to make sure we're not using it as a permanent solution, but as a stopgap to buy us some time.
Thank you. Is there a minimum of how much experience do the resumes come to you and you select, or they say, here's what you're.
They select the people and provide their details to me. So basically what they do is they reach out, find a group, they pick the ones they believe are the best fit. Of course, they represent their organization, so they're trying to get you the best person they can. And then, yes, they reach out to me. We sit down together and make a decision on if we feel those are the right people for us. We're going to have to do some in-state stuff that they don't necessarily provide as far as background. They're going to have to do their fingerprinting, and I do not believe they provide a year analysis test of armor, so we'll still have to do a direct test. But those are all pretty simple, easy, short cost, small cost things for us to provide.
Okay. And you've already looked into what DPSSD requires for.
Yep, it's 18 months max, and you can keep them on before you have to send them to the academy. And I can actually get that extended out to about 2 years if we really wanted to, but so far none of the HCs that are currently using them that are hitting that mark, DPSSD has not pushed back on it yet. So
okay, I'm more concerned about, does DPSSD as an OER require the employee name? I don't know if employing is the right word, we'll call it the host agency to do their psych and their medical and everything?
There has to be a psych provided, which is something that they do.
And is it, I'm just wondering if there's things in there that like says it has to be a licensed Oregon.
Yeah.
It's like, so those little details.
Yes. And they do have people locally that do that. They've got 3 agencies in the state they're using, so they're prepared to know what Oregon's requirements are.
Thank you.
And super responsive. And every time I've called them or reached out to them by email, they've gotten back to me within 24 hours. So they're super responsive and engaged and excited about the opportunity to have another organization in Oregon if we decide to go that route. But I will write it all up in the initial proposal sheet that we were given, and then I'll bring it to the next meeting for a full review for you guys. But I did want to at least have the conversation to give you some background context on that.
How long have they been in business, you know?
I would have to look. I don't know off the top of my head. It's been at least a couple of years. The other company, the other organization that's out there has also been around a while, but they do a lot more. They do training, they do executive hiring, they do a lot more stuff. This company really kind of derives the conversation on staffing, so, and pinpoints that as their business model.
Any other questions for Jeremy on that?
And just before we're done, Mr. Chair, there was since there was a recommendation made by the board, we need to discuss the maintenance agreement also. I'm sure is why our vendors are still sitting here waiting. And I do appreciate you guys being here looking for questions. I do appreciate you. But I would like to have that conversation now also.
I agree. That was exactly where I was headed. So we've got a recommendation from the advisory committee to go with the Communications Northwest. And would accept a motion to go with either Day Wireless or Communications Northwest. A motion and a second, and then we can have some more discussion about.
And Ken, just for some context, we currently have Day Wireless. We've had Day Wireless for 16-ish years, I think, something like that, maybe even longer than that.
Yeah, it's been over 26 years.
Just for some context for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chair, that the board switch there's 2 parts, right? So one is to accept Communications Northwest and hire them for the work outlined in their proposal. And then do you want to set a different motion for the maintenance?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got a motion for Communications Northwest for the proposal. for their work. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second.
Mr. Chair, for clarification, we're talking about the radio system stabilization roadmap?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, advisory committee is obviously almost split right down the middle, so it's a tough decision, but we need to move forward with one way or the other. I think for my 2 cents, I think Day Wireless has dropped the ball a little bit, but I think they have picked it back up and are running with it. So, and I feel like Motorola is kind of this standard. Doesn't necessarily mean that's, that that's the way to go, but that's just, I think, obviously a great product, probably a little more expensive down the long run, so sometimes you get what you pay for. Do we want to go save money this way? Do we want to go that way? So Tyler, you have a comment?
Yeah, I mean, you did allude to it that we have had very significant concerns for, I mean, this goes back to 2012 and the district, and yeah, I understand that some of the people in this room were here at that time, but the district hired Mark Pallins as a consultant that came in, and I helped Mark in that process, and Mark expressed multiple times that he was very frustrated with Day Wireless because they didn't have the documentation showing that they were actually doing the preventative maintenance as contracted to do on an annual basis. And that I've heard those same comments from district staff and other providers now at least 2 other times. And the system is degrading. We have the commentary from and the information from Communications Northwest about their on-site visits and what they found too. And that was after Day Wireless just got done doing their full review of the sites too. So that's really concerning to me as well. We still do not have records to substantiate that what we paid for is what we got. So the district this board has had comments and discussions about the concerns around Day Wireless's performance now for months. And we don't have answers to any of those questions. So to me, in my opinion, going with Day Wireless is a definition of insanity because we have a degrading public safety radio system that our first responders rely on every day, doing the same thing over and over again that hasn't worked. Would you do that with your personal bank account and repairs that you need at your home or your vehicle? Would you keep coming back to the same service provider that you've not had luck for, but continue to pay out? I wouldn't. So I think we're going the right direction here and I think the majority advisory committee was correct. Again, this is my opinion, just from my observations. And I mean, I have emails going back years and years and years, Jeff, about all the frustrations with Day Wireless from staff. So we do need to try something. In my opinion, we need to try something different. There's a 30-day termination. Jeremy, am I correct? A 30-day termination?
There is a 30-day termination clause in the contract, correct?
And then I just want to add on too, so given Day Wireless's statements that they would have to come along and check, Communications Northwest work to continue the preventative maintenance contract too. And then also that right there pushes me towards Communications Northwest for the ongoing service part as well. And then the Communications Northwest proposal, it's a lot more thorough from what I saw. And then it's actually less expensive. So, I mean, I think we need to try something else. I mean, this has gone on for 2 decades.
Any other comments on any of this?
Mr. Chair, I'd like some clarification, remarks that you made about the use of Motorola equipment. So I'm looking between the 2 proposals and I'm not sure in my mind which is which.
Day Wireless is a licensed Motorola sales organization. So if you're hanging your hat on Motorola, to get licensed, guaranteed equipment, you would want to go with Day Wireless. Now that is, they don't only sell Motorola, they do sell some other Motorola based products like Avtech and some of those others. But they are the licensed Motorola sales group. or with Communications Northwest. Communications Northwest is not a Motorola licensed sales company. So they would be using other products, but they have a plethora of companies they do work with that provide radio equipment. So that would be the big distinguishing between the two as far as what equipment we're purchasing in the end. Communications Northwest can maintain older day wireless equipment. If it's not licensed, then you're not trying to carry a warranty on it. But if it's licensed, warranted product, it would need to be a Motorola licensed organization to carry the license and warranties on that work.
May I clarify?
Yes.
When you're done. Are you
Yeah,
done?
no,
Okay.
go ahead.
There isn't anything in these proposals about replacing the Motorola equipment with the radio stations are staying the same. So I think Jeff's comment was just a broader statement that Day Wireless is, correct me if I'm wrong, exclusive Motorola. Communications Northwest does, Kenwood, Harris, EFJ, they do a lot of different vendors. And I mean, maybe Day Wireless can get other vendors too, but I think, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were just making a broader statement about the.
Thank you. That was my next question, is that the scope of work looks to be antennas and coax and the pre-filters and the equipment up to the transmitters and the receivers, which I would assume would be Motorola.
Yeah. No.
Well,
no.
not
So-
necessarily.
So the stations are Motorola, but the antenna system is everything from Sinclair to name all the different antenna manufacturers. There's probably some stuff mixed in there. And there's what, like 10 that are great, public safety grade, different manufacturers. Communications Northwest does all those. Day Wireless, I think, does all those too. I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So just kind of stepping back here historically too. So the district back in around 2012 invested in what's called Harris Synchrocast. And Harris Synchrocast is basically a solution that is at each one of the transmitting radio sites, simulcast radio sites. I think if I remember from your resume and your interest letter, you know some things about radio. So this is a multi-site simulcast radio system. It's voted as well, of course. As you know, a simulcast, the signals have to launch from each site very precisely. Otherwise, you get the overlap, which is what's really happening in Scappoose, where they can't even hear, 90% of the time, Chief?
It depends where you're at in certain locations.
Okay, it's a big problem in Scappoose. Harris Synchrocast is supposed to sync all the sites through precise GPS timing so that the signals launch from each one of those transmitters from each of those sites at a precise millisecond time. Otherwise, you get that harmful overlap. When Mark Pallins was here, Mark Pallins made the observation that that wasn't even hooked up, even though it had been installed for a number of years. What I heard in Communications Northwest proposal that they gave, and I did listen to the advisory committee meeting, is that system either appears to be malfunctioning or not hooked up correctly. I'm paraphrasing here, so you can go back and list it for yourself and make your own observations, but that's what I got out of it. So I think there's a lot of things that it will be really beneficial for new sets of eyes to be looked at. Let's put it that way.
Hey, any other discussion?
And just also additionally, just so everybody's filled with the context, Day Wireless also maintains NAWAS and a couple of other items that we have at our towers. But that is not something specific. I don't believe Day Wireless is the only person that can work on it. But I just want to make sure everybody understands that this is a broader maintenance scope. It's not just a few things when it comes to the maintenance conversation. So
is that under a separate contract?
It's all looped into the same contract.
Okay.
So it is, it's basically transferable. I don't think Communications Northwest would have any issues continuing to maintain that stuff. The other side of that also is we do have equipment on one of Day Wireless's towers. I have not had the conversation on what that looks like for us using that site continuing. We are leasing that site. We do pay fees to use it. So,
but that is under a separate lease agreement.
That is under a separate lease agreement, correct. So that is something that is negotiated separately, but just so that everybody's aware of the full context of what this means. There's a lot of different pieces at play here.
Okay, any other? We'll go ahead and call for the vote. Do you want to, repeat your motion again for, this was for maintenance, right? For the
Well, now that we had all the discussion, I don't think there's anything that prohibits us from just lumping it all into one.
Let's do that.
And I'll, unless anybody has any
You want
objections.
to amend your motion to, yeah.
Yes, so I amend my motion to be that we provide day wireless termination notice consistent with the current agreement for both. Well, actually, it'd be only the current maintenance agreement or any agreement that's currently active with them. And that we go with Communications North, we enter into contract with Communications Northwest. We authorize the executive director to enter into contract with Communications Northwest for the repairs, the proposal that Ken just mentioned earlier, and then also the ongoing maintenance agreement.
Okay, so amended motion. Do we have a second?
Mark had the second on the original motion, so are you good with the amendment?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, for the purpose of discussion, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. I wasn't around 20 years ago. The second best plan is today, and I heard clearly from the advisory committee that something needs to happen sooner rather than later. That was my intention coming into the meeting. Was I would like to see a decision today and move this forward. My concerns are with unintended consequences, and mostly that's with the termination of the day wireless contract. I'm not sure that I understand completely what happens to the ancillary equipment upon that termination of day wireless's service and maintenance. And really, at this point, that's my only hesitation with supporting the motion. And I was wondering if anybody could address that and make me a little more comfortable.
I think one of the concerns that we've had, that we haven't got answers to is just, we wanted system documentation. And that was the other piece of what really, I'll say, irritates me, is that we have no system documentation anymore either. And so I think my question, to Ken's point, I think this is what you're talking about, would be just a simple question to Communications Northwest. Do you have everything that you need, having just done the review of each site? Do you feel that you have everything that you need to be able to slide in and have cohesive maintenance and operations so that we ensure that we're not negatively impacting any of our first responders and the district? So I think that is a direct question that Communications North, I don't know if we can just ask them right now with the folks that are here if they know, but I think that is an important confirmation.
Yeah. Can you guys comment? Communications Northwest, can you answer any of that?
Yeah, happy to. And absolutely.
Can you just state your name for the record, sir?
Oh, certainly. Chad Lund, Communications Northwest. And yes, we absolutely have all of the information and knowledge of the current sites, the current system. There's some deeper research to do here at dispatch for some of the interconnectivity, but all of that is very industry standard. And this is not something new or unique. There's multiple examples around the state and the Northwest where we have come in and taken over systems that have a core Motorola network and are able to service immediate needs, perform upgrades and systematic upgrades. And going with us does not mean that suddenly all of the existing Motorola equipment becomes irrelevant. It's just a different path. And, I'd say it's very similar to, you've got a Ford truck under warranty, you take it to the Ford dealer. The moment the warranty is done, it doesn't mean that the, longstanding service center down the road can't service your truck anymore. It's just not being done by somebody wearing a Motorola logo shirt. And I can expand on that or if that answers the question.
Ken,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
any other questions, comments?
I do have a question. If the board does choose to move forward with Communications Northwest, what sort of a termination would we have with them if, say, we get 6 months, 9 months down the road and we determine that switching was not the correct thing to do? Are we locked into a contractual term or do we have an easy out at that point?
I read it. I think Jeremy can confirm that it's the same. It's a 30-day termination notice, no penalty.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else got anything? We'll go ahead and call for the vote to accept the motion, Tyler's motion, and Mark's second for Communications Northwest. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. We're gonna go into board member comments. Is that where we're at? Did we miss anything else? Mary Jo, can you keep me on point?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You can never retire, by the way.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll go ahead and start with Tyler for board member comments.
I think I actually got most of my comments out, but given the time, I think I just want to say that I feel like this is the most productive meeting that we've had with trying to get things headed in the right direction. I mean, it's one of those things where time will tell. But I feel like we really made a good move here. And I'm looking forward to a new relationship and getting our public safety, first responders and the public a, system that's reliable with, using the funding that we have available to you. I'm just going down my list really quick. I did ask for some documents to be added to the record too, Jeff, that I sent you. I don't know what your intent is with that. I don't want to assume, but I would appreciate if those documents that I have sent you are posted with the relevant meetings and made part of the public record. Just a reminder, we as a governing body, whether it be this or any other governing body, we cannot choose what comments or what written statements we choose to publish or accept, or there's something called viewpoint discrimination in the First Amendment, and you have to give everybody the equal. In other words, you can't let somebody else comment and public comment longer because what they're saying is positive. You can't post things publicly because they're positive, but then not do it for the negative comments as well. So we need to make sure that that's part of being a governing body. Elected officials accepting all criticism. So I don't know what your intent is there, but I hope that the records that I asked to be published on my own website with the related board materials, I hope that happens. Given the time and everything, I'll digress and save the rest of my comments for the next meeting. Thank you.
Mark.
Oh, I just wanted to thank all the members from the advisory committee for being here. I think their insight's invaluable and really helps us in our decision-making process to hear their thought process behind all the recommendations. So I think moving forward with quarterly meetings, conjoined meetings is going to be a great idea. I did want to say congrats to the team for the Commitment to Excellence Award. That's amazing to see that they're getting the recognition that we know they deserve. And quick kudos on the network upgrade, because I know how quickly those things can go south and how stressful they are. So great job with that, guys. And final thing is I just hope Mickey's oatmeal bath is everything she hopes it was.
Yes, very much. Brian.
I'll echo some of Mark. Again, thank you to the advisory committee for joining us this morning. We appreciate being here and look forward to continued quarterly meetings with you. It's good to have you with us. Ken, officially would like to welcome you to the board. Thank you. Congratulations to Jeff and Mark on your election positions and new titles. And then just as always, thank you to the staff and everybody for your continued hard work. It's always recognized and appreciated. Congrats also on the Excellence Award, and strict thanks as well to Marks and Nathan for their work in getting things done as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm excited and I'm grateful that I have this opportunity to try to help make a difference to first responders as well as the community in general. I do want to express my thanks as well and appreciation to the members of the advisory committee that were here. Appreciate you guys sticking this out. But I also appreciate everybody who participated in that really important discussion, not only 2 weeks ago, which I was privileged to sit in person, as well as the discussion this morning. I would ask Executive Director to convey my appreciation and thanks to staff and to the line dispatchers who are doing their best, and I have no unqualified opinion that they are not doing, what's the above and beyond.
Thank you.
The call of duty, certainly with their performance. And every time I have the opportunity to hear an exchange over the radio, I'm reminded just how professional all of those folks are. And so I want to make sure that they understand that their work every day, every hour, every minute is appreciated. Jeremy, I also wanted to let you know that I'm interested in more knowledge about recruitment of dispatchers and the success of that. I was very interested in, I forget if it was the 1st of August or the 6th of August letter from Mr. Miller about the data that he presented from 2018 to present. I'm going to dig into that a little bit more with regards to what it means for us and how we can use that as a useful metric moving forward to get some progress. I may have some general questions for you at the next meeting.
Please.
About recruitment, just to give you a heads up. And Mr. Chair, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, welcome, Ken. All the advisory committee, I do agree. It's great to get decision makers in the same room at the same time and move this forward. I just appreciate everybody making that happen. Yeah, the awards that Danelle talked about, that's awesome to hear. Kudos to all that staff for that. And we'll cut it short with that, but I'd like to get an update from Jeremy on the pending grant that we've got going on. Maybe at the next meeting, he can give us an update on that Mark found a potential source there for some additional revenue support funds. So we'll get an update on that, and we've got to do this all over again here shortly. So it's August 27th at 9 a.m.
Can I just make a few quick comments as well, Chair?
Yes.
Thank you. First off, thank you, Chris, for filling the co-chair role today for a very important meeting.
Well, it's my pleasure.
And you and trying to work around the board meeting as well. I'm actually very happy with the overall outcome of today. We finally have a pathway to start making some movement forward. And this is the first time I feel like the advisory committee and the board was kind of in lockstep on trying to make progress together. It is very important to me that the board gets to hear from the advisory committee. I mean, that's your job, is provide advisement. It's important that they hear directly from you, not word of mouth from me or having to watch another meeting or something of that sort. So that was amazing to see you guys all in one room. It got really hot in here very fast with all the bodies. Make sure to turn on the freezing air next time around to cool it down beforehand. But thank you all for the conversation. Thank you, Today Wireless. I know today probably didn't go the way you guys were hoping, but I've always appreciated our working relationship together. And I thank you for being here and sticking it out. Communications Northwest, I look forward to a new relationship or ongoing relationship with you guys going forward. That's And again, thank you guys for the nice comments from my staff. They don't quite hear them often enough from the users and from the board, so I will make sure it gets relayed to them as well.
One last thing on the, is everybody on the board good with August 27th, 9 a.m.? Does that work for everybody? Good. Okay. We'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting 12:14. Thank you.